Okay, we spent probably 50 to 100 grand building out this store. Like, let's lean into the fact that we have this set that like looks cool.
There's other aspects to being like a filmmaker, and like you can also have other passions and hobbies and endeavors beyond just like holding a camera and
100%.
shooting a video. I get shade and mud thrown at me all the time. Like I'll have people be like, oh, he's a great businessman, but like not so much a filmmaker. And it's like, bro, what are you talking about? And as soon as you start doing that, there's people out there that have this weird like connotation with like, no, unless you're actively doing that thing day by day, week by week, month by month, you're like not that thing.
Welcome to the No Late Fees podcast. This is kind of cool, actually. I like it.
It's
We're back.
in the video store here. So first off, for those that don't know, like why are we sitting in a video store?
Yeah, if you kind of just saw the thumbnail and clicked on it, you're like, okay, why are like two dudes in a 1990s blockbuster? So maybe we rewind it back a little bit. So for those that don't know, we own a company called Prism Lens FX. And about 6 months ago, this building became available. And yeah, for those that also don't know, we actually own and run film and photo studios in Los Angeles, in Arizona. And one of them is on the other side of that wall. It's a warehouse where music videos and commercials and feature films are shot. And this unit became available and we walked into it. The landlord's like, hey, like, you guys want to rent this building too? And dude, this room was rough.
Yeah, but I think it was really, really rough, really, really bad. But I think immediately we saw it as the opportunity to not only have it be like the first location for our Prism Lens FX store, but then once we dove into like what we wanted the store to be and turn it into like more of like an experience and have it be something people walk into and it's kind of nostalgic by doing like a video store, like a Blockbuster. Then it like also became the place of like, oh dude, like this would be a great place to like bring back and host our podcast. Cause I feel like in the past we kind of like, we wanted to do a podcast and we started a podcast, which did really well. People loved it, but we were kind of always nomads with it, where we were like, first it was like in the Prism warehouse in a corner.
And let's just roast that set for a second. And maybe whoever's editing this will find that footage. It was literally like these large sound blankets that we found that are like on the outskirts, two random like plants like between two ferns, and like just a black wall. And like, I don't know, we thought, okay, we spent probably 50 to 100 grand building out this store. Like, how else can we get some mileage out of it? And like, when you think of filmmakers starting a podcast, like the last thing I want to do is be sitting in a director's stool with a wood slat wall behind me. So I feel like let's lean into the fact that we have this set that like looks cool, you know what I mean? And yeah, so this is the name, hence no late fees. You know, it's a video store. I thought that'd be kind of clever. I mean, I don't know,
dude, we've gone through so many iterations. So first it was quick takes with Tom and Jake, which we did for a while, which turned into, we got super busy and we then kind of took a break and a hiatus from that.
Then brought it back with Riverside.
Brought it back with Riverside and realized, dude, we just, we don't like the online aspect of it. We like to sit down and converse with each other because like we just, I mean, and we're together all the time and just, so it was just, I don't know, the whole online aspect of it was just like super weird and hard to really get into. And I don't think either one of us liked. And then we tried to bring it back again with like Pit Stop. And then, you know, because we didn't really have a home for the podcast anymore. And I don't know. All to say, like, this is finally like a good home for it, and it's something that we're gonna do on a, you know, monthly basis. Be dropping monthly episodes, hopefully even like bi-weekly if we can like batch record a bunch of them.
I think format wise too. Like, I loved a lot of what we did in quick takes, where we're just kind of just shooting the shit on a topic, you know, like us being business owners, entrepreneurs, filmmakers, creators. We have our hand in so many different little like creative buckets that we have an interesting perspective on like a lot of different topics. And then big picture, you know, obviously would love to get like a guest. So where this TV would be, maybe another chair, another podcast, another perspective. But like, I feel like the baseline will just be you and I talking about just different things in the industry. Or I
think it's film. Obviously things in the industry, from what's going on, just in the film industry, what's hot. Like, I mean, we could discuss topics like, you know, our music video is dead. What does AI mean? Like new cameras, gear, but then also talk about projects and things we're working on. But then I think to what Tom said, what you said, like we have such a interesting perspective. And I was telling the guys at Fujifilm yesterday at their camera launch event, like I am on and have played both sides, filmmaker, creator, YouTuber, like influencer, but then on the other side, like also own and operate like a bunch of businesses as well, which I think is, there's interesting perspectives to have from both sides. And I think we have obviously some experience in that, having run a number of, you know, from the film studios to Prism to Tropic to film production over the last, you know, decade. There's some interesting things to be said. And so that's kind of what this podcast is hopefully a kind of a variety show in terms of like film, business, entrepreneurial endeavors and whatnot.
There's times too, because we do so much, right? Like, you know, obviously getting this store up and running was a monumental task. We're, you know, simultaneously like launching new products with Prism. So we have ideas and we talk a lot. I mean, almost every day, if not like on the weekends, maybe it's the only time we really don't chop it up. Like every Monday through Friday, we're like, oh dude, you have time, maybe record this or this and that. Yeah. And then little things just like never get captured. So I also think this is a really cool platform for us to kind of do the things that we say we want to do, but don't really have the time to do like a long form YouTube video. Because we even tried to give like the long form. I mean, if you scroll down on this YouTube page, if you're watching it, like we went up to like Vegas and made all these, you know, camera testings, and then we just got so busy, you know what I mean? I feel like this is like a level for, or a way for us to stay consistent and have these conversations and talk about different topics, but in like a low lift way where we're not having to like produce this crazy long road trip kind of thing. We may still do those, but this is, I think, gonna be kind of exciting for us. So yeah, I mean, maybe to kind of continue this episode since we're in the store. I mean, I feel like one of the episodes that did really well for us, you know, when we did quick takes, is we did like a whole episode on our film studios. And I feel like in a way we do have visions to like rent this out on, you know, Peerspace and stuff, but yeah, maybe even just talking about like the process of building this out. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't know if we'll throw like B-roll of what it looked like before in here, but it was absolute shit show. Is trash.
There's a YouTube video actually a few back that we toured this.
That's true. So yeah, if you guys want to see that, there is a video on this channel kind of walking through the whole process of what it looked like before and us building it out. But like, I think for us, like, one of the biggest challenges was these shelves that you see all around us, because like you can't just like find these like Blockbuster shelves online or eBay.
It would have saved a lot of time.
Would have saved a lot of time and money. But all the shelves had to be individually constructed by our contractor. But yeah, I mean, it was fun to like kind of figure out how we're gonna. I mean, Tom and I, with all of the sets, we design them ourselves, from barracks, honeymoon.
Usually starts with like a roll of tape. You know?
Usually starts with a roll of tape, just taping the ground of kind of where we want walls, windows, different things, and then pulling reference photos and just, you know, Facebook Marketplace, eBay, Etsy, making stuff ourselves, getting, I don't know, it's fun. Like we do, I think that's like an aspect of our lives that we really, really, really enjoy doing and creating these spaces. And yeah, I'm pretty proud with how this store turned out, given like the limited,
even down to the tape. I mean, if you've seen the YouTube video, you kind of know the vibes, but like it was fun even just like designing like this, you know what I mean? Like you come in here, I don't know. This is just a lot of fun, because I feel like, especially like when we were doing a lot of energy, and like I think prior to last year, we were putting a lot of energy into like All Access and Tropic Color. Like I personally was at my desk so much trying to like make new products and stuff for Tropic Color, which is another company that we own. And what's cool about the studios is it kind of allows you to like get away from your desk and go work with your hands and like build stuff, make stuff, design stuff. You're like using like a different muscle creatively. And yeah, I think we both relate, like building spaces is really cool. And I think we've had this like discussion in some capacity, but like, you know, you and I, it's no secret, we got our start shooting music videos. That's literally how I met you, was on the set of a music video. Kicked off like a good 5-6 year run of just doing video after video after video. And I mean, truth be told, we don't really do that anymore. We focus on more entrepreneurial businesses. Like we're still filmmakers, but are in the trenches every week doing videos. So the idea of like making a studio or a filter or a product it's cool, because we still have like our thumbprint, very small in some cases, on different projects, because they will shoot in the barracks or it's on their lens. So in a way, it's cool that we get to kind of still be involved, even in a small capacity, on these projects. You know what I mean? Even though we're not physically on set.
Well, I think 100%. I also think it's smart too when you can create anything that like services an industry, right? So for us, like we're creating products or services that like service that industry to where we don't have to like be the ones like on set shooting the video. It's like we're able to be a part of that production and make money from that production without having to necessarily lift a finger. Obviously there's all the pre-work into like building and designing it, but once that's done, you kind of just sit back and watch it unfold. And I think it's fun for us to like not only really craft and create the space that we would want to shoot in, because we usually obviously then once we build the space, shoot our own stuff in it. Like right now,
yeah, like this.
Right now we're in pre-production on a short film that we're going to shoot in this store. And when we were building out the store, we always talked about like, dude, I can't wait till we shoot and do our own short film in here. But then we get to sit back and watch like what other people do with the space and how they use it. And it's always really fun to just like be on YouTube or Instagram, or a friend sends a text and be like, yo, check out Lil Wayne at the Barracks. And it's like, wow, sick. So
dude, I sent you that DM of like this monster makeup thing that shot at Honeymoon. And it was like, damn. Like,
yeah.
This is crazy.
McDonald's just had like a big 2-day commercial at Honeymoon. It was like a $9,000 payout national commercial being shot at Honeymoon. Hasn't come out yet, but like when we see that on TV, we're gonna be like, it's like that Leonardo da Vinci meme
or
where he's like pointing. Oh, DiCaprio. yeah. He's like,
no, I know from
you know
yeah,
I mean?
dude, exactly.
So
no,
it's like that's fun.
Cool.
Like you still get to be creative, and I think that's what's important. Is like there's other aspects to being like a filmmaker, and like you can also have other passions and hobbies and endeavors beyond just like holding a camera
100%.
and shooting a video, and still be like in that industry and be creative and be an artist. Like,
and I kind of want to actually maybe even take a moment to like take this conversation in a new direction that piggybacks off that. Cause you and I actually were like brainstorming yesterday, like, dude, like what should we talk about? You know, like you're in town, let's get the most out of this space, this lighting, these cameras. And one of the things that we talked about was like, you know, it's okay to like venture out and do different things. And I think we are, not to say we're the only people doing it, but like I think we're a good model to a filmmaker that maybe has an idea, wants to start a business, a product. And just because you do those things that like are not the thing that you were once known for, like it doesn't take away from your, I mean, I literally haven't shot anything in years, and I'm going to DP a short film, and it's not like I don't know how to shoot anymore. I still possess the sensibilities and the taste. Just because I don't have a camera in my hand every week doesn't mean I'm not a DP or a filmmaker.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of people in like the filmmaker creator threads that love to like throw shade, throw mud. I mean, I know you're more on threads, but it's just like, I see the vibes, you know what I mean?
I get shade and mud thrown at me all the time. Like I'll have people be like, oh, he's a great businessman, but like not so much a filmmaker. And it's like, bro, what are you talking about? Just because like I'm not as active in it anymore. And as soon as you start doing that, there's people out there that have this weird like connotation with like, no, unless you're actively doing that thing day by day, week by week, month by month, you're like not that thing, you know what I mean? And so it's interesting that some people have that perspective, but yeah, I mean that you can be a director and direct a film and also go out. Who's the guy that you were saying, that the actor that like then will disappear and go make pottery for
like
years on that?
Daniel Day-Lewis, like he's a cobbler when he's not like in like France or something, you know what I mean? Like, and here's the this is a little more niche for him. I think he's one of the greatest living actors. And under that same sort of like idea, like, don't you think the greatest living actor would literally be acting every single day, going to rehearsals, you know, he's like, no, like he likes to go have other life experiences, which in turn affect his work. And I think in a lot of ways, like us being able to go and do different things, us coming into Late Fee, our short film, which is kind of similar to the name of this podcast, it's cool because we're coming into it with zero burnout. It's not like I'm coming off of like a 6-month-long feature where I'm like, all right, well, cool. Like, oh, you guys want to do a prod meeting? I'm kind of busy. I'm kind of tired. Like, I am like 100% of my bandwidth and my excitement, it's cool, can go to this project versus like, oh, I'm not available this week for a scout. Oh yeah. You know, like in the past, if I was like burnt out on a bunch of other like prod stuff, I wouldn't really be able to give this upcoming film a lot of energy. So I think like inversely, having other interests also allows you to like bring other aspects of your life into that thing versus like it being a detriment. I think it's actually like a superpower.
No, I think it can help your creativity too, because like you said, there's that burnout kind of isn't there. And I know like for when you're constantly maybe worried about like, oh, that next gig, that next job, and you don't have anything else kind of like mentally or creatively challenging you, and you're just kind of doing that one thing over and over, like it could be easy like to get that creative fatigue or burnout and not be as excited about the next job that you or your own personal project as you should be. Like, and I think for us, I think we both feel that way, where we are always doing so many different things, you know, whether it's studios or coming out with a new product or designing a new product or building a new set and or shooting a commercial or passion project for our own company or a reel, whatever. It's like, I don't know, it's just always something fun, new and different. And so each time we go into one of those things, there's always like a big energy behind it. That's not just like, dude, we talk, you're like my second wife. Like my wife always jokes about it. It's like, oh, your wife's calling. And then we talk to each other every single day because we're always like probably like 10 plus times a day because we're always like super excited about the thing that's like next and what we're doing. So
dude, there's
it's a fun place to
like
be.
Just a sidebar on that where it'll usually be like, okay, well, I'll usually like call you top of the day because mind you, we live in different states. So if we were working in the same business, it would be like, I would probably, these would be the things I'd lean back in my chair, like, yo, did you catch that? Okay, cool. But we're not in the same workplace. We live in different states. So like, that's the way we communicate. And I'm not big on like Slack and tech. I'd rather just call someone, chop it up, boom, keep it moving. But there's times where like, even like, I think a week ago, you're like, bro, like we need to make Prism Content House, right? Which by the way, maybe still in the works. But like, once you said that, the gears started turning. I think like that day I called you like 6 times, even for like 30 seconds, like, yo, what are your thoughts on this? Like, yeah, I like that. It's like, all right, cool, peace. Like just to like kind of keep stacking the little Jenga tower. It's like, it's just very easy to do that when you have, and that's maybe just sidebarring a little bit, but like, I feel like it's kind of cool that we've been able to maintain working in so many different capacities with like very little friction, sure. Every now and then you might get in a little tough or tiff, whatever you call it. But like, dude, I mean, that's human nature, right? Like I have tiffs with my wife and other friends, like site reps, like everyone, right? So it's kind of amazing that we haven't had this crazy like falling explosion out or, like the fact that we have so many things. And I think it really, maybe someone listening or watching this is like, dang, like how do I find like a business partner? Maybe something to this effect, like what would you describe as like the reason this works? And then maybe you can touch on something like why a previous business partner thing didn't work. You know what I mean?
Well, I think we both have the same work ethic. And I think it's a couple of things. Our work ethic really aligns with each other. Our morals align with each other. And then where we don't align is where we complement each other. You're very technical, you're good with your hands, you love to build and craft things and love the back end of like almost like coding and website stuff and graphic design and whatnot.
Even this morning when I was building this, you're like, yo, what are
and
you
I was
doing?
Like, what? Like I could never make that, do
For
that,
sure.
nor would I want to, even if I knew how. It just doesn't interest me. And then inversely, on the other side, like on the more like creative writing and social media aspect of building that part of the business and working on that part of the business, like I love. And you were like, yo, I don't want to touch that.
Sure.
So we complement each other really well in the areas of like the businesses that we don't want to do and that we like. But then like we have the same work ethic and morals because, I mean, I know you can attest, there's a couple people that we tried to go into kind of like business with, and I personally tried to go into business with on a couple other ventures, and none of those worked out because just... One, I think work ethics for sure didn't align. Morals were a little misaligned. And then the things that I was really good at and passionate about, they were like also good and passionate about, but we didn't have this other back end piece that anyone was like handling or taking care of. So, I mean, I think we just kind of lucked out.
It's really great because like even just driving around this morning, grabbing some coffees, like I'm at a red light and you're like literally firing off a reel, and like my brain doesn't think like that. Like I'm thinking about, okay, I need to upload C-Log to these cameras. Like we're thinking of different things. And in a lot of ways, like you can almost check off twice as much shit because we're doing different stuff. Where like if you're looking for a business partner, maybe someone watching, listen to this, like, dude, I want to find that person I could build, grow with. Like you kind of want to find someone who's like similar but different. Similar in terms of like your hunger, maybe your North Star goal. Because if your North Star goal was to exit this brand in 1 year, and my North Star goal was to like build this and hold on to this and give this over to my grandkids or whatever, like that's not aligned. But then you also want someone different that like actually possesses different skill sets than you.
100%.
So it's hard because it's like a very unique like puzzle piece that like it doesn't always fit.
And I've known and have known a lot of people and friends who started a business together, whether it's a production company or something else, that are no longer like a number of different groups of people that like started something together, and to this day are like no longer doing that thing together, maybe don't even talk to each other, etc. So
crazy, bro.
It is we are blessed in that way that we found each other and we've been able to build, and
that's really, I guess, to land the plane on this ep, why we're doing this podcast is like the podcasts I listen to are the people who have like an interesting perspective on some sort of niche, which I'd like to think we do, and good banter. Because I can't stand like a stuffy podcast where it's just everyone's like very robotic. Like we're going to just, call a spade a spade. We're going to talk, the way we would talk as if I'm calling you on some business stuff. We can laugh, joke, bring in our friends. So yeah, I'm excited for like what this will be and can be, and I think as long as we're consistent with it, which I think there's no reason.
I feel like we have no
this
reason not to be
set,
now.
Great crew, like this is gonna be fun. You know what I mean? So
I mean, that's the wrap up right
dude,
there.
Yeah, I guess we got a workshop. How do we close it out? How do we do that on quick takes? I mean, we did like the all right, or would we?
We didn't game plan how to close these episodes out moving forward. So
anyways, I guess this will be on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube if you want to watch, listen. Obviously, everything we try to talk about, we'll try to include in the show notes of YouTube. So in the future, as we're talking about maybe different studios, old videos, I think one of the episodes we want to like kind of like roast some of our early music videos and stuff. So we'll always try to include the links in the description below. But appreciate you guys giving us another chance. If you're an OG Quick Takes fan, maybe in the comments, let us know. If you're new to here, thank you for giving us a chance. So appreciate it.
All right, guys. Peace.